mesa. Walnut Creek down there with the yellow looking cottonwoods. Getting near the Apache Creek Wilderness trailhead, I think. Just came up a pretty sketchy road. But looks okay ahead for now. All these tracks are from the HHR and me trying to avoid splitting open my oil pan on something like that. Finally made it to signage. It's a nice new sign. Looks like I gotta cross this raging torrent. Oh, there's little fish. Little minnows. Yeah, there's the cairn. No idea whether I'm going the right way, but I can't get lost if I'm following Apache Creek in the Apache Creek Wilderness. This is really nice. Is this a trail? Doesn't really look like it. Already stopped flowing. That's a trail, but looks like a game trail rather than the actual one, which I still haven't found. Got ourselves a trail, and I think that's a cairn over there. Nice little meadow. May I help you? So the trail is very clearly here, and we reached this little clearing, which is very pretty, but this is what I'm talking about. There's like no cairns here saying whether to go that way. Looks like there's kind of a trail right there, but I mean, there's branches like right at chest level. Now, could I put some cairns up myself and actually do something about this problem? I could. Looks like we're crossing the creek again. Current looks pretty strong. Hope I don't get swept away by the water. My right ankle always hurts a little bit when I hike, and I'm thinking it's because I tend to favor my right leg. So I've been consciously trying to put more weight on the left leg. But now my butt cheek is on fire. That pine's losing a lot of cover up top. I know how you're feeling, bro. This dude is chewed up. I don't know if that's some kind of pine beetle or an extremely active woodpecker. Have to look that up. Cairn. Big, pretty deep, and pretty clear pool. Little minnows in it. Pretty crazy how there's fish in all these pools, despite the fact that they're not even connected for most of the year. Flowing water might have ass-eating parasites, but I've got a life straw. got like 1 tablespoon of water from that amount of time, but tastes fine. Another deep pool. And it looks like this one was stocked with Gatorade by the Forest Service. Thanks, Smokey. Really chunky alligator juniper. Looks like the remains of some old corrals or something. Sun's starting to set. More fresh signage. 95A is where I parked, just further down, and I just checked on my Venza app, and I depressingly am only 1.7 miles from where I parked. Looks like I got 3 miles left on this trail. See how far we get. Oh, you're still showing a little bit of green. What are you doing? Get with the program, man. Where's the orange? Jesus. Kind of tempting to set up here, but still got daylight, so gonna keep on trucking. The creek is running a real straight course here. Makes me wonder if there's like some kind of fissure in the granite bedrock here or something. Kind of cool. This really ain't much of a trail right now. I came from over there and saw that it seemed to stop right here. Then I crossed over there, but just dead ends up there. So I guess we're just bushwhacking. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Are you lost in the desert and you're out of water and you don't got no life straw with which to drink from a creek that so happens to be nearby? Well, I'm here to tell you that it don't matter. All you gotta do is grab a beer. That'll quench your thirst, and there's no side effects. The sun appears to have set, at least below this ridge here. I'm still looking for a fireplace, or should I say a rock ring. I'm trying to divine one with my beer here, but it doesn't seem to be working. I think someone might have lied to me about the utility of beer in survival situations. Dang. Nice view. Just when the sun's about to be gone, too. That's still Juniper Mesa. And I don't know if Apache Creek ends here or what, but I'm coming up to a saddle in this ridge and I'm not hearing any water. I passed over that saddle, but I kind of just ended up in just another stretch of canyon. The trail is just kind of closing up a little bit in this granite-y area. Still no fire ring, but there's a lot of oaks that look like they're on fire. Oak, 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 oak. It's like agave. I'm getting kind of hemmed in by granite here. I got off trail just right there, and I think I'm on my way to finding a good spot to set up my tent. Yeah, right here. I don't think there's going to be a fire ring here, but I could just make a fire on the bedrock. I should be pretty safe. There we go. That's a nice looking promontory. Actually, it's a knob. That's Granite Knob. Just checked on my map. The name definitely fits. Granite and knobby. I guess now is actual true sunset. And I need to gather some sticks while I still got some light. So I'm wondering whether the agave fibers will burn pretty good. Probably just gonna pound them out to expose the fibers and separate them a little bit. Do the same thing with this dead straw-like stuff and see if it lights. That looks lightable. There we go. Look at that. That is beautiful. I didn't think it was going to work at first. These magnesium sparkers, they really friggin' work. If you're out in the wilderness and you run out of water, you already drank your beer, and now your fire is dehydrating you because it's really dang hot, there's nothing to worry about because you can just grab another beer. That's all you need. And there's no side effects either. There's something primally mesmerizing about a nice fire in the wilderness. You are reminded that you are a descendant of countless generations of the human species. And far back enough, your ancestors were living by the fire and dying by the fire. Your great and so on grandfather and grandmother built fires just like this. And maybe they even had Del Monte canned mixed vegetables and artificial beef flavored ramen on top of a jet boil contraption. And they survived. They survived with this primitive technology.
Good morning. Oh. It was cold last night. My water bottle froze a little bit, even though it was inside the tent with me. I think tonight I'm gonna have to actually set up the rain fly for some extra insulation. But I did sleep. I wore my buff over my face. I woke up and it was totally soaked through with drool. So I took that off and hung it to dry. And then went back to sleep. And just woke up now, and now there's drool all over my sleeping bag, so definitely slept. Gonna take down my bear hang. Not a bad one, if I do say so myself. Although a bear very easily could have just taken out that shrub or yanked on the rope and broken that branch, but it looks nice. Back on the trail. I think I got a mile left before I'm out of the wilderness area. I think this might be mountain mahogany. Nice viewpoint here. I think that's Hyde Creek Mountain, tops out at 7,000 something.
And that's Granite Knob. And the trail's going over that way. Getting to a sign here. Wonder if this is the wilderness boundary. What the? Prescott National Forest? This whole thing should be Prescott National Forest. Interesting. Well, it's because it's missing that. So I guess I'm leaving the wilderness. I still haven't decided where I'm gonna go next. Either on top of Hyde Creek Mountain or maybe try and make my way towards Camp Wood, which is supposed to be really pretty. Let's find out. This must be the official wilderness boundary. And it looks like I'm hitting the road up here, which I think should be 93B. Yep, just got off of Apache Creek Trail. Not much of a road. I decided to head towards Camp Wood. I don't really feel like climbing up a big mountain right now. Crossing some big old dry creek bed, which I'm assuming is probably Hyde Creek. I don't know though, because I don't have cell service and I've just been using a motor vehicle use map that doesn't have trails or creeks or anything labeled, which is kind of why it's been hard to follow the trail. I think there might be water in this part of the creek. Yep. Bit stagnant, but I want to save some of the water I carried with me for cooking. What a nice little camping area. It's actually flowing in this section. I think I'll get a drink out of here. So I've reached, I think, the turn to Camp Wood that way. Yeah, also there's a ton of woodpeckers in these pines, but they're all too high up for me to get on camera, which is too bad. Hello, little fella. Some kind of warbler or something, but it's woodpecking. Looking towards the southwest, I think that prominent one right there is Granite Mountain near Prescott. Bradshaw's are probably further out that general direction. And I think that one right there is Denny Mountain on the other side of Camp Wood Road. This is the view behind me. You can see it's all scrub. Like most of that is manzanita. But then right ahead, you get that north-facing slope and it's all pine. This is just south-facing and sunnier, and who knows, maybe the substrate's different. This is that stand of trees that I saw from up in the scrubbier area. It's got some water. Looks like they just harvested a bunch of trees from here. I think the orange on the trees that are still standing marks the trees that are not to be cut, but yeah, you can see all those stumps there. A lot of carnage, but at least it's not a clear cut, I guess. A lot of these southwestern forests get overgrown with trees due to fire suppression over a long time. So I think they do these selective thinning timber sales to reduce the risk of like insane giant fires. At least I assume that's what's going on in this case. Nice grassy creek right in the midst of this timber sale area. Well, I was gonna try and hike until I got past the timber sale area, but still in it, and I think it's time for me to turn around, but this is a nice spot to do so. The Forest Service stocked this with free soup. I've been foraging while walking through the woods here, and I've managed to get a decent batch of wasabi almonds, and I also snagged this Nature Valley bar, just growing straight off the vine. Over out that way is where I initially came into the woody area where the timber sale started. I'm just coming back down from Camp Wood. I'm gonna try going back on this road. Not really sure how that'll go, but we'll find out. You okay?
Huh?
I keep seeing these little burned areas in this timber sale area, and I don't know if that's just where they burn their brush piles or what, but when you get a bunch of trees and organic matter burning like this, it returns a lot of the nutrients to the soil in the form of ash. And that's what you want in a natural fire regime. The issue with this selective thinning is that selectively thinning the trees is replacing the role of fire, low to medium intensity fires that happened naturally before, like industrial silviculture. So selective thinning is good for the forest, but not as good as just naturally occurring fires would be. Pine Creek. I think this is the main drainage of this whole Camp Wood area that I've been walking through. The watershed has been sloping to the north this whole time. Now I think I'm crossing the creek and going uphill again. Time to sweat. So I just got off of that road and got onto another barely extant Forest Service road that looks on the map like it almost connects with the road that I'm parked on, although it does stop, but I figure I can just bushwhack it once it ends, or it could end in a giant canyon that's completely impassable. Back deep in the shrubby-dubby chaparral looking kind of land again. This place looks burnt. Juniper Mesa back in view. I think maybe this valley down below here is the Hyde Creek valley again. This is the view looking back towards the Camp Wood area. There's Hyde Mountain peeking out from behind whatever ridge this is. I think that's the first view of Pine Top Mountain that I've really gotten. Kind of curious what's up there because it's very flat topped, but also about 7,000 feet at the top, I think. And Juniper Mesa. Well, I left the OHV trail and somehow ended up on a hiking trail that's not on my map. There's a cairn there. There's a cairn there. So that's nice, as long as the trail's going in the direction I needed to go. There's the creek. I think it might be Hyde Creek, but at this point I really don't know. It's a creek. Hyde Creek. Love seeing cow patties next to my water sources. Looks like some foresters have been chopping and burning. It's got a nice clean edge. Yeah, you can clearly see this is the burn perimeter. Just reached the junction of this Forest Service road and the spur that connects to Apache Creek Trail, where I was yesterday. It is really tempting to go back in there. I really liked the Apache Creek Wilderness, but I'm only like 2.5 miles out from my car right now, and I think I'd like to get back tonight and then have tomorrow to unwind before going back to work on Monday. Friggin' work! I'm a little bit confused by this burn because they really didn't torch like even most of the shrubs. Like it looks like it just burned like little grasses and maybe some of the pine needles. I don't know if they were just doing a half burn. There's a barrier between like the wilderness area over there and everything else that way. These poor fellers did get completely torched. Hardly have any needles left on them. And it looks like this one's crying. Back where it all began. Gotta go sign out of the register. Back to the car. My feet have hot spots all over them, and my waist and shoulders are very sore from the pack, but it was a good trip. Adios.